Hi, I am Robin. I got my clap before we started. That's great. That's my declarations. Other speakers have gone for dazzling pictures of Scotland. I have gone for retinal burning orange. And it's my great pleasure to present our poster highlights. So we have broken records. There's over 160 posters for you to see throughout the exhibition floor. The posters that I've highlighted, I've put their numbers on to help you try and find them because they're dotted around the exhibition. Literally, whatever you're passionate about, there will be a poster from truly inspirational teams. And that's sort of why we come to these events. That's why I come to these events, so I can see how people are doing it in their backyard. So whether it's MRT and oncology, or you're passionate like me about education, I'm not sure where you would be, but if you're passionate about management or all systems, you will find a poster that will interest you. And it's my job not to say what they say, but just to give you teasers. Let's get into it. So poster number 11 from the Nottingham team. We've already heard quite a bit about this. As a community, we're moving away from the Per-Eugenie scale to try and find metrics of absolute amyloid load, and this is an example of a team who have been doing that in their own backyard. So what I really liked about this poster, and there's a lot to like about it, is when they come to their conclusions, their published results don't align with other folks' normal ranges or published results. So shots fired on that one, and if you want to know the answer as to the detail, you're going to have to go and read the poster. One from the Bleeding Edge from the Brompton. We've heard already from the highlights posters themes of AI as it affects nuclear cardiology. So here we have a poster, we have one vendor where we have attenuation correction, but we also have an AI deep learning attenuation correction. So attenuation correction without the beam, and we have a beautiful bullseye plot illustrating some of the differences between the actual beam and the deep learning. This poster fascinated me because it's a glimpse into how are these systems actually working on the ground. And like all good posters, it's itself a teaser. I'd love to know where the later work goes here and how this correlates to invasive coronary angiography. Poster 52 from the Brompton and Harefield team. Looking at the added value of low-dose CT with VQ SPECT. And 3 clinical cases are presented for us here. I think the thing I really enjoyed the most about this poster is it is just visually stunning. From when I started out back in the day, so long ago, doing VQs to what we have here in front of us, it is such a beautiful poster and 3 interesting cases. I do commend you to go and have a look. From slightly further afield, from Istanbul, I enjoyed quite a lot about this poster. I love the holistic approach to oncology, how we treat and how we hold our patients in PET, how we think about things like anxiety. And the science here is very interesting with a control group and a protocol here which is demonstrated by their chief technologist for the anxiolytic element for the active group, which, as my kids would say, is pure chillin'. So I'm not supposed to tell you what the statistical difference is between the 2 groups. You can go and have a look for yourself. Poster 149 from the team in Manchester. I think the thing I enjoyed the most about this poster was the fact that we now have several generations of CT SPECT on the shop floor. And we've certainly moved a long way from single or few slice CT through to large multi-slice systems that can even be standalone CT systems. How then do we do dose optimization? And one of the things I really enjoyed about this poster was it's a plea to let our physics crew do their work. Simple low-dose CT systems, while they may appear attractive, can actually hamper dose optimization. If you want to know the detail, go and see the poster. Poster 164, moving to the more hard end of the science town, terbium. Some of our posters really are talking about the groundwork for the future of theranostics, and this is one of them, where we have an alpha emitter, and we have a novel synthesis and design of chelators, and looking at their stability and perhaps their future use. If this is your bag, I do commend you to go and look it up. Similarly, we're moving from just getting posters from the NHS crews, from the academy, but also from industry. It's a fascinating poster about how are we going to actually handle these therapeutics on the shop floor. What's the kit going to look like? What are the implications for radiation safety and protection? How are we going to manage that? This is a poster which talks about the groundwork of some of that. And I love a poster with a QR code. I'm a sucker for that, because if you're really interested, you can go down the rabbit hole and investigate further. Poster 111 from Surrey. We've been talking about accreditation in nuclear medicine for some time, but it's great to see the story of groups who have gone down the route. I think the thing I enjoyed about this was lots of the buzzwords on this poster, they're not new. We all do talk about governance, we all have our SOP pathways, we all have our training records, we all have audit, but it was lovely to see the structure, the framework that accreditation puts over the top of that and standardizes, perhaps harmonizes. Poster 31 from the Sandwell and West Birmingham crew. Again, as technology evolves, it comes down to how are we going to apply that technology in our backyard. So DMSA used to detect renal cortical scars or pyelonephritis. Planar versus spect, agreement or superiority. Some of these discussions can be a little academic. What I really enjoyed about this poster was its pragmatic impact on their shop floor, how they've used that to maximize the benefit to the patient and actually save time. Poster 38 from Barts. Of course, we're just part of a larger diagnostic community. So when we talk about optimizing outcomes for primary hyperparathyroidism, what's the impact of multimodality imaging? As we now have ultrasound, 4D CT, we have dual tracer techniques and SPECT CT techniques. And this was a lovely poster, bringing together the evidence and how it actually affects patient management and patient care. And to our final poster from North Midlands, which is an extravasation of 18-fluorine. Nothing strikes me as more competent than when you're willing to show some of the mistakes in public and then talk about what's changed, or what can we or should we change as a community. These are lovely, well, maybe lovely is not the right word, lovely pictures of erythema. But some of these figures, perhaps, I don't think is in the minds yet of our technologist workforce of the potential doses, 4.3 grays, or the need to think about, once we have over 2 grays, how is that going to affect our patient management? What steps do we need to put in place? I think my time is up. That's all we really have time to show. There's so much more there on our floor. Please do make the time to go around our 167 posters. Thank you so much.